Hi, I'm June, the Happy Thai Girl. I have the perfect side dish for your barbecue this summer. Have you heard of the apple walnut slaw? Well, even if you have or have made it before, you'll need to try this new twist on it. This crunchy, delicious side dish is coming right up on my show, Cooking Made Easy with June, brought to you by Macy's, the happy shopping store in Spanish Fork. Hi, welcome to Cooking Made Easy with June. This episode is so exciting. I don't know, I'm so excited about anything that I make because honestly, I would not bring a recipe on the show unless I think it's delicious. So I've made this many times. It's the apple walnut slaw. And I love having it for all my barbecues or like with a hamburger or anything like that. I've also put it on like tacos and it's so good. So I'm going to start out by toasting my walnuts. And this is optional. And of course, if you are allergic to nuts, you can also not do it. But then it wouldn't be apple walnut slaw, and you can just try just an apple salad, which is awesome also, which is good. So I'm gonna just do a light coat of a little, on my nonstick, I'm gonna add a little bit of olive oil. Even though that you already have that, I don't wanna burn the nuts. So now with these nuts, you're going to have to stir it pretty constantly. So I have this on medium-high heat, and I'm just going to first stir it around with the olive oil in it. Maybe what I'll do is spray a tiny bit more on it, the top part. So there we go. Okay. So I'm gonna let it sit there on medium so I don't burn it. So I'm gonna stand right here. I'm not gonna burn it. So remind me if I burn it, because I do that all the time. I just leave. Anyway, so the next thing, so this first part, we're going to just primarily prep. So I'm going to just do the cabbage. Now, I've shown you how to do this before, but in case you didn't see my other episode, I just cut it in half, and you notice you have that core there. I kind of do like a V cut, and that's going to cut out the core right there, and there's that core that you don't want. On this side, there's not much of a core, but there's a little bit, so I'm just going to go ahead and cut that off because I think that would be a little bit too tough to eat. And this part is a little flimsy and I want it crunchy, so I'm going to take that off and just do a quick, I like it as thin as possible. Now, I keep thinking, maybe this is another thing, Pete, I would love to have what is it called, a mandolin, I think, where you just, I don't know how to pronounce it, but you just take it and go like that, like a little vegetable cutter, a manual one, and you can make really thin. Now, I'm doing a pretty good job, but when I get busy or in a hurry, I may not necessarily have it this thin. But see, I love it like that for all my salads, and especially slaw. And so, again, if you make it yourself, it's cheaper instead of buying that bag of slaw, which you can. However, it won't be as crunchy, and they cut it to, I don't love the texture of the already bagged coleslaw or cabbage that they have in there. So I honestly like to make it, and then on my own. So I flipped it over. I'm going to take my time to try to make it as thin as possible. So the recipe calls for 6 cups of shredded cabbage. Okay, now I feel the heat on my walnut, so I'm gonna stir that a little bit. It's still not there. So when you see a tiny lightly brown, then it's toasted. Okay, so I'm just gonna stir that and leave that on by itself. Okay, so then I'm going to go ahead and cut that. That's about 1, 2, 3-ish. So maybe this half will be the other. No, I'm gonna have to cut more than this. So I cut that too much, too thick. So in reality, you don't have to have it exactly the same because, slaw is just chop, 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 chop. And again, I always promote this cabbage. I love the cabbage because you know how you get vegetables, fresh vegetables, and it just sits there and you forget about it or something and it goes bad so quickly. And so I love the cabbage because it's hardly any waste. You just have this little bit of a core, and then you have all this other parts that it's awesome. And even if it's going a little off, like usually it's the outer layer, and then you just take that off and throw it away, and then you can have fresh cabbage in the middle. Okay, I can hear my walnut sizzling a little bit, so I better turn it. I don't want to burn it. That's the worst thing, is burnt nuts. Okay, there's some little dark parts. So I'm going to see how it's like toasted and it's already brown on one side. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the stove because I do not want a burnt flavor at all. So I think this is going to be perfect. So actually I'm going to go ahead and move it to the side and let it cool down. Okay, so going to have the cabbage there. So this is how I measure. 1, 2, oh, there's a big piece. 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is going to be approximately 6 cups of slaw. Let's clear that out, and then we're going to grate us some carrots. Now, these measurements are not exact. If you only have a few carrots, it's okay because it primarily adds the color into your slaw. So we have that. Let's see how much we have. Shredded carrots, so 1.5 cups it says. So I'm just going to do this. And then also it calls for red onions to add color. If you notice that all these things are going to add color to your slaw. So when you're grating, be careful, watch your fingers or your knuckles or whatever. I'm putting quite a bit of pressure on this as I'm grating. And so I'm gonna stop there because I don't want to cut myself. I've done that so many times. How many of you have had cooking injuries? Oh my gosh. I've had so many cooking injuries, including burning myself. But it's so worth it. I just love it. Well, this one's not, it's been sitting out, so I'm just gonna break that. So this is going to be about all I need, about 2 medium or 3 smaller carrots. It's going to be about 1.5 cups. Okay, so we're going to put that into there, right there. And then I'm going to cut the onions. So I think what I'm going to do, so again, when you're cutting onions, I don't know if you noticed that I cut on each side, each end, and then I just peel off this part. And we only need a little bit. So, and this is optional, a 1/3 cup, so really, we don't need that many. I can just do that and then have enough, and if I have extra, I can always. Okay, so I'm going to mince it. Now, onion is a really strong flavor, so I recommend that you guys not put it, I'd rather you put just a little bit for color. Like, for example, oh, now my tear is coming on. Whoa, baby. So I'm just going to chop enough that I need. I'm not going to be. Okay, I'm going to take a little break. I'm going to take a little break. When we take a little break, we come back. We're going to make the sauce, and we're going to chop the walnuts and the apples and go from there. Okay, so come back so I can cry behind the camera while you're gone. Welcome back, and we are ready to make the slaw sauce. So we're going to start out with 3/4 cup of mayo, and I really actually can't tell the difference between the olive oil mayo and regular mayo, so I opt for trying this. Now, I've also seen avocado mayo, but it was so pricey. So, but I think that might be a good try if you're willing to pay for that, and it does sound awesome. So 3/4 cup of mayo, and so I'm going to just kind of like squeeze. Oh, of course, that sound. That's 1, 2, and 3-ish. 3/4 cup of mayo, 3/4 cup of buttermilk. Oop, grab that over here. Do excuse me, I need to shake that. Whoops, 1, 2, and 3. Okay. So buttermilk mayonnaise and 5 tablespoons of sugar. You can also do, where's my sugar? 5 tablespoons is it's a quarter cup, here. So a quarter cup is 4 tablespoons. Oops. You can also put honey. I've tried honey and it's good. So I'm going to put 4, and maybe I'll just put a tablespoon of honey right there. I want to show off my little honey pot. I love this honey pot. Got it at Target in this magnolia line. Anyway, isn't it so cute? It has honey and then it has a little lid and it goes like that. So cute. Anyway, so I want to use my honey pot. So a tablespoon of honey. It usually is for the drizzle, of course, but I'm going to put like that. Yeah. Oh. I know it's a little bit better than just white sugar, right? From the honeybee. Okay, so honey, and then 4 teaspoons, which is about a tablespoon and 1.5 of lime juice. So I have one already half cut. So I'm just going, I better just put it in here. I don't want to be too. Lime is so mild, so I'm going to, let's see what that is. So that's just 2 teaspoons. So another one. Gosh, I'm so rushy. I don't know why. So I'm going to slow down. Have you heard of the Calm app? My daughter, who's on a mission for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, she's in New York, and with all the chaos going on, she says, we all have the Calm app. So think of the rain, forest sounds. I don't know if you guys can see me squeezing that lime. Oh, even the smell of food can calm me. So that was 2 teaspoons, 3, 4.5. Oh well, there we go. It'll be good. Gosh, I don't know why I'm getting a little sweaty today. Okay, so we have walnuts, we have the walnuts we're going to chop, sugar, lime juice, 3/4 teaspoon of salt, and a 1/2 teaspoon of pepper. So let me wash my hands real quick. 1/2 teaspoon of butter. I'm just going to do approximately, and 3/4 teaspoon salt. They're my little cute containers. You gotta have cute things so it's more fun to cook, you know. So, and then that's it, right? Yep. So I'm just going to whisk this. Whisk, whisk, whisk. Every time I think about whisk, and then I think of tisp. When I think of tisp, T-S-P for teaspoon, I always think about Sleeping Beauty. I love that show because there's a scene in there where the little fairies try to cook without their wands, without their magic. And she goes, what's a tisp? And I always love that. So cute. You guys, maybe I'll go watch it again. So there's your delicious, homemade, fresh mayo dressing with lime. Now you could use lemon also. In fact, the original recipe has lemon, but I love lime, so I like it's a little bit less tangy and more mild. So I'm going to go ahead and cut up some apples. So now even if your apples are a little bit older or it's a little bit bruised, like this one's a little bit bruised, but it's okay. It'll be yummy because you're going to add it to all these other delicious things. So it says approximately 2 medium-sized apples, but some apples are bigger than others, but it doesn't matter because you're going to, an apple, you're going to have all the other stuff in it, and so it's okay. So I'm going to cut approximately 2 apples and chop them. Maybe I won't use the little bruised ones. Okay. All right, so then we're going to just go ahead and chop it. So I think I'm going to go ahead and chop the rest of the apple and have lots of apples. And as you can just chop, and if you don't want to use them all, you don't have to. And I love the apples that have a thinner skin. Now the green apples would be, the Granny Smiths would be good also. These are Honey Crisps. Oh, yummy. Oh, that's good. So that's gonna be a good salad. So the Honey Crisp would be good, or the Pink Ladies, or the Gala, a little softer. The green apples have a thicker skin. So if you're going to use the green Granny Smith apples, I would recommend peeling them before you put them in here. But these thinner skin, crunchy apples are perfect without having to peel. So we have the apples right there. Actually, I'll go ahead. Well, the apples are gonna go in last, so I'll move aside. I'm gonna chop some walnuts. The walnuts is about a cup of chopped coarse walnuts, so coarsely chopped. So I'm going to coarsely chop the walnuts. So coarsely chopped means you don't want to cut too many small pieces. So it's coarse like that. So I'm just going to, so they're bigger chunks like that. That's it. That's all you want to do. Okay. All right. So, and then apples is okay. So instead of raisins, a lot of times we'll put raisins like the old-fashioned salads. I'm going to put a few dates. Some people like, if you don't like raisins, won't like dates. But if you like raisins, you will like dates. Or in my part, I don't love raisins, I prefer dates. So I'm going to use some dates. Now, I even love date rolls. And this is, with me trying to cut out the sugar, or cut down some things, I love fresh fruit sugar. So this is going to be good. Just a little bit, a few dates. Now it calls for 3/4 cup of it. However, I'm not going to put 3/4 cup. I'm just going to put in just enough to add some sweetening to it. So this is, I would say, a 1/4 cup of chopped dates to add a little bit of sweetness and flavor to the apples. So, but not as strong, it's not as strong as a raisin to me. So, okay. Maybe, just about a 1/4 cup. I'm gonna do one more. That's quite a bit of slaw there. Okay. All right. Now, I think I'm going to take a tiny little break. We're going to take a little break. Yes, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we will toss it all together and plate it and taste it. So, come back. Well, welcome back. I have the sauce all made. Now this is quite a bit of sauce to me. Sometimes I don't use it all, depending on if I, mismeasured my ingredients. But so I put the walnuts in here with everything else, the cabbage and the carrots and the red onions. So that looks lovely. I love all the colors in this slaw. So this is a really special slaw that you can make the night before. Honestly, though, I prefer to make this particular salad the day of, like that morning, and then refrigerate it and then ready for that afternoon. But you can make ahead by making the sauce and also cutting up all your ingredients and having it all ready. So that's that. Okay, so, and then I'm going to go ahead and pour in my sauce into this lovely slaw and toss it together. Make sure that you thoroughly toss all this together. You don't want to have little clumps of sauce, because it's a lovely, see right there, it has I didn't toss it well enough. So I'm going to take a moment to toss it better. And so now, after you've tossed and covered all the cabbage and carrots and etc., you are going to fold. I don't know if you know what that means. Fold in. When they say fold, it really means to be gentle because you don't want to bruise the apples for some reason or whatever. So I'm going to go ahead and add the apples. And this is like a lovely cross between a salad and... So folding is like you're turning the bowl and you're folding everything over because you're not stirring. If you're stirring, you could crush the apples. So you usually use the term folding for things that are gentle, that are delicate, more delicate, and you don't want to smash it. So you're going to turn your bowl and just keep folding, and a little bit of stirring there, but it's folding over to the next thing, right? So I spilled there. So that's it. I'm going to, could leave it on here, but I love this bowl. Another new bowl. I go on these little sprees where I just buy things. So I'm just going to put them into this beautiful bowl. Love this bowl. It's so pretty. Now I'm noticing that I feel like I need to garnish it with something. I don't know what. So I'm just going to put that for the picture. Maybe one more scoop. And I think maybe I should, what should I garnish it with? I think I'm going to do a quick couple slices of apple just for show. Okay, so maybe we'll just put a few apple slices on top. I don't know, guys, what do you think? This is the fun part of it, right, guys? And that's it, you guys. I don't know. Actually, I need more greenery. I don't know where. I guess you can put some green onions, but I think that's okay. So, let me get some fresh wooden things. Let's do that. Well, this one, see, my accident burning things. I burn things. Anyway, so there's your apple slaw. That would be perfect for any barbecue. I put it on tacos before. It's lovely and it's yummy. I mean, just think of all the ingredients and it's so good. So, okay, go to Macy's, get everything, and make it. And happy cooking. Have a wonderful barbecue.